Hey, how's it going? This is Joe and Tell. And last time we were talking about the Edifier speakers. And, I kind of gave you guys an idea of which ones I liked and what I liked them for. And I promised that we would take a deeper dive and take a look at some of the measurements and place them on the speaker leaderboard. But before we get into it, I want to do a birthday shout out to my godson Neo. Happy 11th birthday. You're awesome. I hope you have a great day. And make it a good one for me. Have you ever wanted to attend a hi-fi trade show but couldn't? Now you can. On June 26th to 30th, the Hi-Fi Summit begins. It's going to be a 5-day event available to people worldwide. There you can see your favorite brands and you'll get to see all the new products before anybody else. If you're shopping for products, you can even narrow down your search based on price and other specific criteria. You'll be able to chat live with other audio enthusiasts, ask questions about products and get them answered directly by the companies. You'll be able to vote for best in show. You can even leave testimonials for your favorite brands. Tickets are $49 for all 5 days, but if you sign up in May before June, you'll be able to get them at the early bird special of $24 for all 5 days. Those with tickets will be able to see show specials, exclusive discounts, as well as entering contest giveaways for some ridiculously awesome prizes, like entire systems. Crazy prizes. If you can't buy a ticket, we completely understand. We're going to be live streaming all the seminars for free to the general public, so don't worry about that. We have something for you as well. Also, after the show is over, we're going to open up the site for everyone to see. But no trade show is complete without an after party. So we're going to have DJ Chana De Silva, aka Techno Dad, spinning every single night. So you'll be able to sit back at home, enjoy the music, bump it on your system, dance, do whatever you want to do. He's even planning on doing an audiophile night where he's going to play his favorite audiophile test tracks. You can play them on your system and he'll tell you what he's looking for every step of the way. It's going to be awesome. Go to thehifisummit.com, buy your ticket, and let your hi-fi journey to the top begin. All right, so right here we're taking a look at the R1280T. And so this is that $99 a pair active speaker. This is definitely not the flattest response that I've ever seen. You can tell the top is decent. There are some ups and downs here throughout, what is this, around 1 kilohertz. There's this little bit of a peak there, so that might lead to a little bit of harshness. And then the bass is boosted. If we were to take a look at how low this goes at -3 decibels in room, so this is an in-room response, not to be confused with an anechoic response. This is just to give you an idea how it was kind of sounding in my room. And so this was getting down to about 50 hertz. That's respectable for a small speaker like this with a 4-inch woofer. Okay. Now, like I was saying, I have this close to a wall, a window actually, but same difference. And the bass sounds too boomy. I have this set to -4 on the bass knob. And so you can see that it's lower here, right? I still get the same extension. I get a little bit of this notch here, right? Compared to where it was before, but this is way too boosted for my personal taste and especially closer to the wall. So I do have it like this and it does sound flatter. And so that's what you get for $99 a pair, right? Pretty respectable. The treble response extends out far enough so you're not going to be missing too much detail there. And so yeah, I like these speakers for 99 bucks. Now let's move on to the more expensive S2000 Pro and let's compare their monitor. They have 4 EQ settings, so this is their monitor setting. And as you can tell, the bass extends out further, which is what you'd expect from a bigger speaker with a bigger driver. And so let's take a look at that for a second. So -3 dB point, we're talking about somewhere around 35 hertz in this mode, okay? Now, the funny thing is it's kind of boosted up here, up through the bass, lower mids, until upper mids, it kind of drops down around 3 kilohertz. And you have this kind of like dip here, right? Wide dip. And then it kind of picks back up after 10 kilohertz, right? But if you look at their other EQ mode, here's dynamic mode. In dynamic mode, it looks totally different, right? It's flat around the bass, lower mids, upper mids, but the sub bass is really extended. So they're using a lot of this DSP to try to get as much bass from this driver as possible. Now the cabinet's not small and the woofer is a respectable size. It's 6.5 inch. And so you expect it to be able to hit some lows, but not this low, right? A normal speaker in a ported cabinet of that size is not going to hit down to 25 hertz. This is only because they're able to use DSP. And so at a volume like this, I was at 85 decibels at a pretty close distance. Then it's able to say, hey, you know what? You're not going to reach your excursion limit at this volume, so go ahead and try to play as low as possible. But I did notice that if you start turning it up, it does protect that woofer and it turns down the bass. It doesn't allow it to, to blow up. So another thing you'll notice about this is that the treble is lifted, right? A little bit too much for my personal preference here, right? So that's a pretty significant increase. Let's take a look at their classic mode. Let's see what they did there. So classic is kind of in between the two modes. So there's monitor, right? There's classic. And so comparing the two, you can tell the treble is lifted, but not crazy like dynamic mode. And they introduced this little, what is that? Trying to be like the BBC dip around 1 kilohertz. Is that what that is? Classic mode. And the bass, they didn't try to get crazy with the bass. And last is the vocal mode. And vocal mode is where I found the treble to be the most reasonable, right? So not so low as the monitor mode. And everything else looks pretty smooth. So I ended up kind of just using vocal mode most of the time. Now let's compare vocal mode on the S2000 Pro to the S350DB. Now this is a satellite system. And so you have an 8-inch subwoofer and then you have some small little speakers that you put on top of your desk, right? And so comparing these two, it seems as if the S350DB has more bass, but that's just, mode dependent, EQ'd mode dependent, right? And so if I were to look at the S2000 in dynamic mode, well, I'm getting a lot more extension, right? So S2000, if you're wondering which one has more bass, S2000 in that dynamic mode will typically give you more bass or lower frequency bass too. The thing is, let's take a look at the S350DB by itself. This is not extremely flat either, right? Compared to that $99 a pair speaker. And the bass is pretty, so this is not very flat over here. And remember I was talking about coherence of the speaker, how it wasn't very coherent. And this is what I'm talking about. I did a measurement of the speaker, the satellite speaker by itself. And so 80 hertz is the frequency where you can't distinguish where the bass is coming from, or it makes it a lot harder at that frequency. But you can see where this green speaker, right? You can see where it starts to drop off, right? And that's right around 200 hertz, right? Definitely by 150, it's out of there. And that's when the subwoofer takes over. The problem is from, 200 hertz to 80 hertz, you can totally tell that it's not coming from the speakers. It's coming from that sub. And so that's not great, right? That's not terrific there. If they would have made a larger speaker somehow and they were able to cross it over here at 80 hertz, then that would sound a lot more cohesive. So there that is. Right now, let's take a look at the speaker leaderboard. So I have a bunch of them here, so we're going to have to kind of go a little bit faster than normal. So let's start off with the R1280T. And so this does fit into powered speakers. Let's see where it places here. Powered speakers is better than all these. Definitely not for 99 bucks a pair, but they are respectable. Let me see here. Gonna have to go down a little while here. So they're not better than the AI40s that are double the price. I would say you know what's tough though is I don't have the PV42X to compare it with directly. That is the direct comparison to these. I'd say in looks, R1280T, right around here. I wish I could compare them side by side. I think the micas would probably be a little more accurate. So I like accurate. In most cases, I would go for the PV42X, but this does have more features. So I like the features on here. If the remote were working, then that would be cool. But it also does have tone control. So I'm gonna have to give it to the Edifier on this one. All right, so best bookshelf. It's definitely not the top of the top. So let's go down a little bit here. Where would this fit into just an overall bookshelf category? Probably around the same place as those. Let's see here. Right around here with the MB42X and the PB42X. I would say in this case, people are going to wonder why I'm going to put it. You know what? I'm going to have to just put it again above the PB42X. I still don't like the MB42X better just because with a decent amp, I think it does have better performance overall. It's just that it's hard to compete with the Edifier's feature set. There's just a lot that you can do. You know, tone controls are no joke. It's useful, definitely useful if you have them close to a wall and stuff like that. All right, so best for desktop. Now, I think it's going to do a little bit better in this category because I think that they would be decent on a desktop, you know, for a lot of people. So we have the U6, AI40s. Let's see here. Yeah, you know what? I'm going to put it above the MB42X for best for desktop just because they are powered. So, you know, with a decent amp, the MB42X is going to outperform this and you can apply DSP, but just out of the box, I'd say I would tell somebody to go with the Edifiers. Okay, so best for under $100. These are definitely up there. We have the MB42X, we have the PB42X. So I'm going to go ahead and put it under the MB42X. These are all interchangeable, guys. So don't get mad if it's like, oh, why'd you put it below that? You know, put it above. It doesn't matter. It's very close. This is just to give you an idea. So best overall, let me go ahead and move this over a little bit here. My poor Denton 85th anniversary. If you haven't seen, my storage unit caught on fire. And so those Dentons were in there. Very sad. Still my favorite speakers that I've reviewed to date. Okay, so Edifier, where do you land here in best overall? You're gonna land around the same place as before, right around MB42Xs, the 000s, PB42Xs. I'm gonna have to just go ahead and give you a little bump right there. Boom. There's the R1280T. Now, S2000 Pro, these are powered speakers. They're definitely better speakers overall. And let's see, where would I place these? Above the AI40s? Yes. They're also more expensive. So I'd say above the AI60s. 306. So this is getting around the same price range here with a Kali Audio, Hercules. You know what? The fit and finish on these are nice. You know, the EQ modes, I didn't like that you couldn't tweak them. They just gave you 4 settings, but you couldn't really like go in there. And so these have a lot of inputs though. They have balanced inputs, so you could use them as studio monitors. They also have optical, Bluetooth, so lots of options. If that's important to you, then you could place these a little higher than where I might place them, right? So the Kanto Tux, they do have also a lot of inputs, but not balanced. And so the studio monitors, they have balance, but they often don't have stuff like a Bluetooth and they don't have a remote. So I would say overall, this is going to be tough. I'm going to put them right around here. You know, I'm going to have to put them right here. Let's say below the JBL 306. Feature set though. Feature set. I think overall, I'm going to have to do it like this. Right in between the 306P. I didn't really love the 306s, the way they looked. I didn't like the hiss. The LP6 did have a hiss also, but overall, the fit and finish, all that was better for me. And it didn't have that dip. So that's where the Edifiers land in powered speakers. Best bookshelf. Let's go back up here. Best bookshelf. I had the LP6 above that one. I'm going to have to put these. I really like these Hercules monitors. That's what I'm using here today. I'm going to have to put them again above the JBLs. They're definitely not as accurate. You know, I can see how somebody would definitely put this above here, and that would be okay too. You know, that's fine. It's just the feature set here is very good for the price. It gives you a lot of options if you want to connect it to TV, different sources. So the JBL is more accurate for studio listening. But yeah, this Edifier does its thing for a lot of people. I don't know if it's technically a better speaker, but for me, which one is more enjoyable? of the two, I think I would enjoy just using the S2000 Pro more because it has that crazy bass extension and dynamic mode if you want it. It has a remote, has Bluetooth if you want a Bluetooth to it. So convenience wise, that's a win for me. Best for desktop, they're a little bit big, so they're not going to be great on a desk, but they are powered. And so I would say, I don't know, somewhere around here. I mean, they're big also, so debut, yeah, right around here under the ARB51s. Not bad. I wouldn't put them at a desk though. Okay. So best overall, regardless of price. So this is just straight up sound quality. Does it sound better than these? Yes. It has more bass than these. I would say overall sound. So I like bass, right? So Vanatude T0s they're more accurate, right? The AI40s are more accurate, but these have more bass. What do I like the sound of better? I think overall sound, just straight up sound quality, I'm going to have to put this above the AI60s. Yeah, I'm kind of looking at this again. Like, I want to move this RB42 above the AI60s. I felt like this had a little bit of compression, which I didn't love. So yeah, this is all variable, and sometimes I just want to move stuff around, but I'm not going to at the moment. All right. What else did I miss? Oh, I missed these are under $500. Where do they land here? They're not going to beat out my Dynas. Sorry. Let me see here. I'm going to place them right above the 306Ps also. So far you'll notice a trend that usually you get what you pay for, right? There's not a huge difference where if it's within a certain price point, it lands completely in a different spot than the rest of the speakers. Not really the case. So I'm going to have to put them here. I like them. All right. So now these 350DBs, these are powered speakers as well. Like I was saying, I didn't like how it wasn't very coherent. So powered speakers, I'm going to place them somewhere around here. Sonos Beam, HomePod, those are totally different use cases. So this has better performance than these. Maybe something like that. Okay. All right, best bookshelf. These are not bookshelf speakers, but for desktop. So I think these are good for desktop, right? They're kind of made for a desktop use. So I would say in that particular case, these are going to score higher because that's what they're made for. So at a desk, these are going to get a pretty good score here. Yeah. Dynas, if you can fit them on a desk, are awesome. But most of the time, you don't want to put those at a desk. So these transparent one Encores, yes, those are good at a desk. I feel like the T0 should be higher up on this list because these are really good at a desk too. I'm not going to put them above the T0s. And I probably wouldn't put them above the Cantos either. So on a desk, U4s are pretty good at a desk, but they'd need a sub. I'm going to put them right here above the 000s because they do have a sub. I like these Daytons at a desk, actually. Yeah, something like that. I could easily put this above here too, but I'm not. Oops. All right, so these come in around under $500. It's kind of rough. So I'm going to put them right here above the HomePod. And then best overall, regardless of sound. Let me go ahead and put these. right above the home pod. All right, so there you have it. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure to like, subscribe, ring the bell to be notified when I upload new videos. And if you're interested in becoming a patron, thank you to my Patreon supporters. You guys allow me to do what I love to do here on YouTube. If you're interested in becoming a patron, check it out at patreon.com/JoeAndTell. Anyway, that's it. Take care. Bye-bye.